Hey guys, Dave and Chris here from bowhunterplanet.com, and today we got something special, the brand new Elite Ritual. So the Ritual's made its way to BHP, and here we are with this new bow from Elite. Very excited to shoot this bow. I've been waiting all year to shoot it. I think it's going to be really, really sweet bow. Just right off the bat, I can tell I'm going to like it. I do have a thing for the Elite lineup. I feel like they've always had such a great back wall on all their bows, and even continuing as they changed design over time, I felt like they still held to that same back wall feeling. The grip has changed though from previous models, but I think this one we're going to find is going to come directly in line with the back wall.
Yeah, I think a lot of things that Elite's been doing lately, they definitely made some changes to their lineup, definitely made changes to their look over the past couple of years. Stayed true to their draw cycle. I mean, they still do claim to be one of the most shootable bows out there, but as far as overall feel, they've stayed true to what the customer expects. The first thing I noticed with this bow is just the finish. I mean, it's a beautiful looking bow. I mean, they've got great technology, and this was the kind of bow where they took everything that everybody loved about Elites and put it all into one package.
Yep.
So, I mean, at 33¼ axle to axle, it's about perfect for not only speed, but string angle and accuracy. We got a 6 3/4" brace height, so that's going to give you speed while still being pretty forgiving. It is a limb stop bow, but they did put these limb pads on here. Okay. So you're actually rolling over into this pad instead of rolling into your physical limb. So this should help a little bit with limb torque, as well as cam torque when we start pulling on that wall. Draw weight maxes from 50 to 70. I mean, it's exactly what I think the customer is going to be looking for. And draw lengths from 26.5 to 31. So even the long draw guys can get into this one.
Holy cow. That's a good size right there. What was the speed on it again?
335.
So 335 feet per second, which is right where you want to be, right in that range. You know, I was going to say the pocket looks nice here too. It's kind of nice how it flows into it.
Yeah, this is a very, very clean looking bow. Yeah. I mean, the lines on this bow are phenomenal. I mean, the pocket transitioning straight into the riser. We got a nice solid double bolt down on the side to hold that pocket against there. So we're not going to get any pocket movement at all.
Yeah, and then they have the rod here going through, but you can see through, which I think is cool.
Yep.
Like it's actually, if you took this suppressor off here, you would actually have the rod going through into the metal, which is neat. It's just different, you know. And they've had that, I think, on their last model too, where it's actually cut out around it, which is neat looking. They also, Elite was one of the first ones to create this concept, right?
Yep, the riser cage.
The riser cage.
Yeah, the riser cage was something that they did on the top of the bow first. We've seen it on some other models starting to trickle in now.
We're seeing it everywhere now.
Yeah, it's definitely a fantastic
whatever they
idea.
did, people loved it, and companies loved it too. They thought it was a great idea, obviously. What kind of roller system we got on this bow?
So this is the LTR. So a little bit about the LTR. It's a roller guard system, which you can actually tune. So you can move this in and out depending on what kind of pressure you need on that cable system, which is going to let you run a small diameter arrow and just more tuning options for the archer. So someone like me who really wants to get perfect arrow flight and get my arrows dialed completely in, this is going to give you, and as well as your pro shop, the ability to really tune your bow in for you.
It's interesting too because it actually attaches with 2 bolts to the. It's not like built in or like on the like a cheap plastic thing. This is like really nice machine bolts that are holding it in there. Also, I was going to say, I actually do love the grip on this. I love the fact that it's like a wood inlay feel there, you know? That's kind of neat, and it's got the Elite logo on it. It looks great.
The inlay's on it beautiful, as well as the fact that it's a flat back grip. So, I mean, my personal preference is always going to go towards a flat back grip. So, I mean, the ability to just hold that in there, it's gonna feel fantastic.
It's interesting how the grips have changed over time with all bow brands. I mean, I remember when I was younger, it was more oval, like completely oval, where you know it could you know torque easily. Whereas now I understand why they do it this way, and actually, I remember when they stopped doing like wood grips and it was just the metal, and I was like, that's crazy. Who would
Yeah.
do? Why would you have just metal? But then everything's moved to that realistically over time.
Well, I think what they got to is so many people can customize their grips. I mean, personally, like I said, I like the flat back grip, but I still wrap my grips.
Okay.
So, I mean, it gives me the ability to do that while not making it super bulky and big.
So let's quickly, we'll talk just a little bit about Elite. So Elite, you know, they made a big push into the target market a few years ago, and I personally, and I know that was important to them and important maybe to some of their shooters, but I personally have always seen Elite as a bow hunting company. And for me, I think these bows are great as bow hunting bows, like for me. So tell us a little bit about the target side of their bows. Is this what you would see if you're a target shooter, or is it
So
different
this is
model?
going to be kind of like your... This is for the bow hunter that might want to shoot some 3D or something like
So
that.
if they want to dabble in it,
Yeah, if they want to dabble
realistically?
in it or have a bow
Okay.
that's going to have the versatility. So one of my biggest beliefs when it comes to target archery influencing the bow hunting community is target archery is where companies can experiment. It's where they can really see how well their technology performs, and they can really push the limits of accuracy. The demand is, I don't want to say higher, but the expectation is higher.
Yep.
When I pick up a bow to use in a target competition, I expect it to do a very specific job. So what it allows the companies to do is really test their stuff and make sure that it's top notch and ready for it. So, I mean, Elite jumped into it, and that first year that they came in, they had a fantastic run. And now they're doing what I think is one of the most important things is they're listening to their shooters. And now we're starting to see the evolution of cable stops and tunable cable stops. This bow actually does not have them. But
I was going to ask about the
yeah.
is this a modular or what?
So this is a modular based bow. So it comes with a single cam, but you'd have to order different mods to change the draw length for it through your dealer, and they can swap that out for you real simple. But it is a limb stop only bow. But knowing that they're playing in that cable stop market, and playing with that and other bows that they have in their lineup, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years we start seeing a couple options when it comes to these bows.
Well, I don't want them to do it though if it's going to ruin that nice back wall.
Well, that's the thing is
So don't do it if you're going to ruin my back wall. Because
Well,
to me,
yep.
that is one of my favorite things about these Elite bows. I mean, obviously the design's great, the grips are great, the bow shoots great. There's no issue there. But I'm just saying, once that thing's back, man, that's like, to me, that's their signature. It's like, wow, this thing, it's unbelievable. I mean, I've seen it where we've put them on the weight scale and it held it by itself.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, at full draw, it was unbelievable. But I think as a bow hunter, that actually is an important thing, and I think that would help you in the field because it takes a lot of the weight off you when you're trying to wait for a deer to come out from behind a tree or come in, or if you drew too fast, now they're on you and you don't want to move to come up to get to that buck. Gives you a lot more flexibility, I feel like, and that's why it's always been important to me. And I always said, to me, it's a bow hunter's dream because you have those abilities, those options. So, okay, we've talked enough. Let's get shooting this thing, show you guys how it reacts, show you how it looks, and have some fun.
You hold it up for me.
Design choice. Okay, I love this bow. All right, guys, we just got done shooting the ritual, and hands down, it was awesome. It was that great. I love this bow. I just shot it, and I was blown away. Number one, by the feel of it, which I expected the feel to be great, which it was. It held to all the concepts that Elite has had for me with the back wall I was telling you guys about, the draw cycle. I think it's extremely smooth, and when it comes over, it does not have a huge hump at all, I feel like, and it comes in nicely to those backstops. It was awesome. Like, and when it hit, the thing is, it hit so hard that the arrow like did something weird, and I said to Chris, I think it might have came off the shelf wrong, but then the second arrow, I fixed that right away, because I was like, wow, because it hit so like hard and fast.
It was moving the bail.
It's pretty impressive. And The one thing I noticed, I was telling you when I was shooting, is the shelf. I didn't notice it at first, but it comes up over your hand here. So when you're holding the bow and you're holding like that, you can see it actually flares out on the end. I noticed it as a full draw. I'm like, wow, that's unique. I've never seen that before.
What it's going to do is
cool.
really going to keep your finger out of the way, especially guys that are shooting fixed blades.
I noticed that you kind of
I come real high up
yeah.
in it, and that's going to keep me down where I need to be.
Yeah, that's perfect for you.
I loved the way the bow drew. I think it was a little, to me it felt a little bit different than what we've seen with Elites in the past. It didn't have quite the long valley, but it had plenty of it.
I would agree with that.
So I mean, it
maybe
had
the valley
definitely
came
had
down a little bit over
Yeah.
time, because I did notice that in the last one, the option series. I think it came down a little bit from that one, then from the previous one. What was that previous one? Remember, you loved
the
it.
synergy.
Yeah, I must have done
So the one before the ritual was like the original Elite with a really draw cycle that was super
Yeah, like the
jelly smooth.
E35 and E32.
Those ones, yeah. And so I did notice with the ritual, it got a little bit less than that
Mm-hmm.
on the new one, but I still felt it's still really good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have
Especially
no
after
complaints
shooting
about it at
other
all.
bows in the industry, I definitely would say this is definitely one of the best draw cycles.
Yeah, this is definitely a nice smooth draw cycle. I think the roller guard is something that I really enjoy playing with as far as tuning it.
Very unique.
We didn't play with that a whole bunch here, but I think when we get into some arrow testing, maybe this might come in handy. Great feel to it. I think putting these the pads to the limbs on the
Yeah.
side of the limbs was a huge deal, because when I got into it, I pulled a little bit harder just to see what kind of effect I was going to get on arrow flight or tunability, and it didn't seem to there wasn't a lot of limb torque or limb twist at all, so exactly what I would expect. So hats off to Elite on just a beautiful bow, great shooting bow. A lot of great thought went into this bow.
Yeah,
So.
in the this bow just has a really good overall feel to it. The grip I really enjoyed. They got the wood inlay, like I said earlier, and it felt really nice in my hand. The what were you calling the backside flat back?
The flat back grip.
That was great. It held so steady. And when it comes off that shelf, man, it hits so precise and hard. I was very, very happy with this. And especially from a bow hunter's perspective, I think that the Ritual is a perfect bow for the bow hunter. This has a lot of great things. If you're interested in what else we did here, we were using Black Eagle arrows to shoot these shots. We used the new HHA Virtus, I believe it's called, rest on here. And I was using True Ball Release. This is the Valor, and I think you're using a handle.
Yeah.
So just FYI, because some people have been asking us questions about what we're using on the bows, I want to make sure it was clear. That's it for the show today. We hope you enjoyed the Elite Ritual like we did, and check out Elite online. And hey, check out the podcast. We'll see you guys next time.